Louis, brilliant job. Damage limitation. Them all.
Copy. It's not over yet.
Great words. Great words from Toto Wolff. I couldn't have put it better myself. Where am I going to start? It's not going to be a long video. Don't need to be a long video. Not really. But one positive come out of this. Let's start from the beginning. They tried to stop him. When I say tried, I mean stewards, FIA, even the commentators. Not all, but you know Paul di Resta is one of them. Paul di Resta this weekend, on his standards, by his standards, has been quiet. The reason why Paul di Resta has been quiet this weekend, because he thinks that Max Verstappen has got the title in the bag, and he hasn't. Not yet. That's why he's trying to do the reverse psychology. He's coming out and he's saying, oh yeah, it's not over yet, it's gonna be close, see what happens, because he believes that Max Verstappen has got it in the bag. But does he believe that now? Does he? The mistake Max Verstappen made at the beginning of the weekend when he was getting interviewed by Martin Brundle. There was a short clip I interviewed. They're going to be showing it on Sunday during the race weekend. There was a short clip on there and it said, at the end of the day, if I win the championship, I'm going to put number 1 on my car. Big mistake. You haven't won the championship yet, Max. You haven't won the championship yet. Now, by that comment, basically, like I just said, he thinks he's won the championship. A big mistake. So, Mercedes, everybody knows this. Mercedes decided to take a penalty. Okay. They're taking a penalty because he's getting a new combustion engine, which I went over yesterday in my sprint review. Sprint qualifying review. I went over that yesterday. So, that means he has to have a 5-place grid penalty. Fair enough. So, what happened? He went out yesterday and he got the fastest laps and he got pole, which will position him in the sprint race today, supposedly at the front, which he was going to start at the front. But all of a sudden, we get these tweets. Twitter was on fire last night. Twitter was on fire. We start getting these tweets coming from F1 stewards, FIA, saying that Lewis Hamilton has to go and see the stewards over his rear wing, saying it wasn't within the regulations. It was slightly wide. Toto was arguing, saying, look, you checked my wing already before the race. Nothing's changed. The wing hasn't changed. The wing hasn't expanded. But they still want to check it. So everybody on Twitter was panicking, like everybody does on Twitter. Panicking, saying, oh, what's happening? I said to my friend on Twitter, they are trying to stop Lewis from winning this championship. They know he's got the straight line speed. Red Bull know they have Mercedes have the straight line speed. They do not want Lewis to win this championship. So what they're doing is they're making up shit. They're trying to make up all these rules to try and stop him. The same thing that Ayrton Senna used to do when he used to fight against establishments, when it was Senna versus Frost. When the FIA boss was French and he favoured Frost. This is the same thing that Ayrton Senna used to do. Fight against the establishment. This is why Lewis Hamilton loves Ayrton Senna. There's a lot in common. The first thing they got in common, that they're fast. Both of them are fast. And the two, that they both fight for what they believe in. They both fight against the establishment. They have fought against the establishment all their life. That's the reason why Lewis Hamilton idolizes Ayrton Senna, and the fact that Ayrton Senna is the greatest driver of all time. Fact. And if you want to come on my Twitter and start ranting and raving about it, I'll just click that mute button. Very simple. So don't even bother. I do not care about your negative opinion. So they say, right, we're going to look at the car. Fair enough. Then all of a sudden, late last night at 10:30 UK time, it popped up on Twitter that Max Verstappen has to be called in to see the steward at 9:30 in the morning. I think that's 6:30 UK time, 3:30 Brazil time. So I was thinking, here we go. And then all of a sudden, these videos started surfacing online that Max Verstappen, you see Max Verstappen after the qualifying sprint yesterday, that he's meddling with Lewis Hamilton's rear wing. Now, the Parc Fermé rules states that you cannot touch another man's car, another person's car, once it's in Parc Fermé, unless it's instructed by the FIA stewards, which it wasn't. So people were starting to put 2 and 2 together and think, you know what, maybe it was Max Verstappen what messed with Lewis Hamilton's rear wing, and to me, he did. Maybe it was him who put the wing out of sorts, I don't know what they're talking about. They're saying that Lewis Hamilton's rear wing it was too wide, it was moved. Maybe Max Verstappen moved it. In my opinion, he did. Very simple. Video evidence was there, but you know what? I still thought to myself, they're still going to screw Lewis. I had my followers on Twitter saying, please don't screw Lewis. Please don't screw Lewis. I said to them, very clear, very plain, very simple, very honest. This is what you're going to get from me. I said they want to stop Lewis from winning that 8th world title. Look at the guys on top of the FIA. All 3 of them. You got John Tosh. You got that other Italian guy. I can't even pronounce his name. You got the new guy in charge of the FIA. You got Ross Brawn. All 3 of them guys. All of them are Ferrari guys, ex-Ferrari guys, and all 3 of them were under the Schumacher reign. That's the only record that Schumacher has got intact. That means anything that Lewis hasn't broke. They are equal at the moment, by the way, 7 world titles. And they do not want Lewis to break that record, in my opinion. They do not want Lewis Hamilton in F1. They blame him for bringing this Black Lives Matter awareness in Formula 1. I don't care what they say on TV. I do not care if they come out on TV and say that we're up for Black Lives Matter. Bullshit. You do not give a shit about Black Lives Matter. It's all a big publicity stunt from F1. The only one that gives a shit about Black Lives Matter is Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Red Bull don't give a shit. The rest of them don't give a shit. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they come on there and they take the knee. I do not give a shit. Actions speak louder than words. The only 2 people for me, and probably 3 of them, what's actually done anything is Sebastian Vettel and Roman Grosjean. Maybe Ricardo to an extent, but the rest of them don't give a shit. I don't care if they're Neil. Neil don't mean shit. Neil don't mean shit. Do something. And that's my opinion why they're trying to screw Lewis. He brought that awareness in Formula 1 and they blame him for it. There's a lot of political movement behind the scenes that we don't get to see. Money involved. And there's no way, in my opinion, that Lewis Hamilton ever should have got penalised. So he got penalised. So he said, you know what? When the sprint race comes, you're starting from the back. Ha ha! That's how we're going to do, yeah? You're going to start from the back. You ain't winning no world title on my watch. That's what they're thinking. Oh, okay. So Lewis Hamilton took it in his stride. He don't give a shit about what they say. He knows what they think of him. Look how long he's been in Formula 1. He knows. And his dad knows as well. His dad clued him up from a young age. His dad said to him, to be them, you have to be like them to get in. And once you make your mark, then you speak up. Then you speak up. And that's what he's doing now. So they give him a penalty, say, you know what, you're going to the back. But they had to give Max something. That's their cover. They thought, you know what, we can't. If Max walks away with unscathed, everyone's going to think it's a race thing. You're going to have people online calling it the race card. So we've got to give Max something. Let's give him a little £50,000 fine. Like, that's really going to break the bank. That's really going to break the bank. So they give him a £50,000. Listen, Red Bull probably spent in a week £50,000 on toilet paper alone. So I don't think £50,000 or dollars, however you look at it, is going to harm Red Bull. So basically, Max walked away. But Hamilton, boom, penalty at the back. So everybody thought, yeah, you know, Lewis is out of it. I was thinking, I put something online. I put a tweet online just before the race started. An hour and a half before the race started. And I'm going to bring this tweet up now, see if I can bring it up. I put it on Twitter. This is what I put on Twitter. I put it in front of me here. I said this on Twitter, and I felt this at the time. I said to myself, right, the only positives to come out of this conspiracy, because that's what it is, a conspiracy. The positives are, if Max does win the title, it was never done clean or fair. 2, what a comeback if Lewis wins on Sunday. And 3, I don't care if you disagree, but the mute button will. That's exactly what I said. I said that 5 hours ago. Go on my Twitter. Links are going to be in the description below. Now, the sprint race started. I was thinking to myself, I thought, look, Lewis has got a fast car. If anybody can do it, Lewis can do it. I was thinking to myself, mate, if he gets 8th place, that's a bonus. If he starts from the back at this Grand Prix with 20 plus laps, remember it's only a sprint race. It's only a sprint race. This determines the grid positioning for tomorrow. If he gets in the top, if he gets 8th place, whatever, that is amazing. Amazing. So the race starts. Lights out of the way we go. Same old shit from Crofty, but that's just the way it is. Lights out of the way we go. And in the first corner, he took 4 cars. 4 cars in the first corner. Who does that? Who does that? When I saw that he took them 4 cars, the 2 Haas, the 2 Williams in the first corner, I thought, this is on. This is on. And it was on. The race continued. He started just pipping off cars for fun. He struggled a bit behind Ricciardo. He was struggling a bit behind Ricciardo for a couple of laps, but he was figuring out how to gain on him. It was the last sector of the Brazilian Grand Prix. There was like a drain on the side in the corner. And he kept going over that to try and gain positioning. And when he was going to the ERS, he'd come off the drain, because obviously you don't want to take that chance. Pulling off in 3rd gear on ERS and on that drain, he'd pull off to the side. He found the positioning on the track, and he was just pipping them off. Like taking candy from a baby. Just like that. Quick and easy. So I thought, at this point, look, 8th place is a given. He'll get 8th place. Look, and then the race continued. Bottas, the beginning, kept Max behind him. Max didn't have an answer for Bottas. At one time, it looked like Bottas was playing with Max Verstappen. His radio engineer said Max is gaining, and Bottas said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about Max Verstappen. I'm just saving my tyres. So it looks like he was playing with Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas. This is a bit of a, I'd say, payback for Mexico, when everybody said he let Max through, but this time he never. Max couldn't get nowhere near him towards the end. He was trying his best. He was moaning about his gears, that his gears are playing up. Yeah, right, Max. Your fucking brain's playing up. And it continued the race. Sainz amazing at the beginning, passing Max Verstappen. I'll tell you something now, you know Ferrari. I'm going to tell you something about Ferrari. They're going to be up there next year. They're going to have a good package. Next season, you might see it with Mercedes versus Ferrari again. I want to see that rivalry again. That's what you call a rivalry. That's what you call a rivalry. Two big manufacturers like Ferrari and Mercedes going one-on-one together. Them were the days, innit? A couple of years ago when Vettel was in a Ferrari and Hamilton was in a Mercedes. The Silver Arrows and was going head-to-head with Ferrari. Them were the days. But anyway, continuing. Sainz showing his stuff up there. And then towards the end, Max was still tried to gain on Lewis. Wasn't happening. And right towards the end, Lewis got himself into 6th place. And I could not believe that he got himself into 6th place. I was thinking, this has got to be the drive of the year. The drive of the year. It's not like he'd done it over 40 odd or 50 odd laps. He'd done it in 22 laps. I think it was 22 laps he'd done it in. 22 laps he'd done it in. No, 24. So that was continuing. And on the last lap, I was thinking to myself, look, you've come this far. You got 6th place. You're going to go about 5th place. You're going to start on the grid 11th place. With the power you've got, you'll get it. You'll get back up there and you could probably go for the win. But what happened? The last lap, Max Verstappen, this turn that on my picture right now that you can see, this turn, this straight right here, you saw Max Verstappen, you saw Lando Norris going down the straight, and then you saw Lewis Hamilton with the overtake of the year. Not Max Verstappen's overtake in Mexico like that geek said Paul the Resta. This was the overtake of the year. Lewis Hamilton lunged his car right down the left-hand side on that turn, right here on the side. And I could not believe it. The old Lewis Hamilton, the McLaren days, the early years of Mercedes, when he used to lunge and go for everything, but safely. Not like Max Verstappen. And he got himself in 5th place, and he parked up his car. He parked up his car at the end, and his race engineer said to him to take the piss. He goes, listen, Lewis, don't look at no one else's car. Don't touch no one else's car. We don't want to get another penalty. But he was doing it in a sarcastic way. Toto coming on the radio and says, great drive, Lewis. Fuck them all. Yeah, fuck them all. He means the FIA, the stewards, maybe some of the press as well. But it was an amazing race. They're the results. Listen, Lewis Hamilton can win this race tomorrow. They have got the package to win this race. And if they do win this race tomorrow, Red Bull's arse is going to be flickering. Flickering. Because they know the next 2 tracks that are coming up are all Mercedes tracks, baby. All Mercedes tracks. You've got Qatar and you've got Jeddah. Straight line, power speed tracks. Power. And Red Bull know this. This is why you got Christian Horner coming out and saying, we don't believe that car's legal. He's coming out on Sky Sports talking to Lazenby. Lazenby said, look, you live at the stewards, man. Lazenby, I don't like the geezer, but he come out and said, you know what, you're living at the stewards, man. Adrian Newey was at the steward yesterday, putting heat on the steward. Johnny was challenging Christian Horner, saying, look, what do you know about the car? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? And then Christian Horner looks at Johnny Herbert and says, you know what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Now they're trying to insinuate that the car is not legal. That's what they're saying right now. So, another moan fest from Red Bull tomorrow, I guess, or after the race. If Lewis wins the race, you know they're going to moan. If Lewis doesn't win the race, Max wins the race, I'm sure they're going to keep the mouth shut. That's how Red Bull roll. But it's on for tomorrow. Lewis Hamilton is in 5th place. He got 5th. He's going to start from 10th place tomorrow. And even Max Verstappen ain't going to be long before Lewis Hamilton's behind me. And Christian Horner also said to Johnny Herbert, it's not going to be long. He said he won't be long until Lewis Hamilton's behind Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton can win the race tomorrow. That's what Christian Horner says. And he's moaning about the car, the speed. He said for a wing, he goes for the he said that he went past Lando Norris 31k faster than Lando Norris when he passed him. That's what he said. Whatever, man. At the end of the day, race is on. And as long as Lewis gets through that first corner unscathed without getting hit, he's going to be on it. And that's it. And thank you guys for the likes I got on the video, on my live video. Sprint qualifying yesterday. That was much appreciated. Thanks to my loyal followers. You know me, I'm Solo P1. I'm going to continue to give you facts every time. I will not sugarcoat. I will not sit on the fence. I will talk the truth. You guys know this. You know me. So this is Solo P1 Son and that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Ted's notebook's going to be going up in a minute after this video when he finishes recording. So that's it, man. This is Solo P1 Son and that. Thank you very much, guys, and see you tomorrow for the race. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait till tomorrow. Let's hope we can give Christian Horner more grey hairs. But by the way, I've got to give you the pictures. I know Lewis Hamilton didn't, win, but he deserved. He got 5th place. So we've got Bottas, pole, and we've got where's Sainz. He got the 3rd place, well deserved. And then we've got Max Verstappen on Lewis Hamilton's balls. So this is Solo P1 Son. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.